Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about planers. More specifically, we're going to be talking about this Ridgid 13-inch corded 3-blade cutting benchtop planer from Ridgid. The model number on this one is R4331. We are not a woodworker, so this is not a woodworker's review. We did pick this one up fairly recently, and in just a short bit of time, we've established a really strong opinion about this. So if you want to figure out, or if you want to answer the question, should you buy this from not a woodworker, you really want to check out this video. Stick with us. So this right here is the Ridgid 13-inch thickness planer with a 3-blade cutter head system. This model number is R4331, and it is a 120 volt 15 amp tool that delivers 9,000 RPM for maximum power and continuous operation. It features a 3-blade cutting head with that you can do quick changing on dual blade edges that are reversible and self-aligning for a smooth surface with minimal blemishes. The multi-depth features help you achieve desired depth, and the 13-inch wide feed capacity is good for planing large stock. This tool is backed by Ridgid's lifetime service agreement as long as you buy this from a authorized retailer and you register the tool within 90 days. So make sure you keep that in mind if you're buying this, because it's a Ridgid tool and you want that lifetime service agreement. We already talked about the 3-blade cutter head system, but I want to touch on that real quick. So on the market right now, there are multiple different ways to cut things, but I want to say mainly comes down to 2, if not 3 planing systems. One's using like carbide teeth and some type of like spiral type format, which seems to be a preferred method for, I want to say, really dedicated woodworkers. And there's like a knife blade system, which is what this uses to cut a bunch of or plane down wood, right? Theoretically speaking, the more knife blades, allegedly, it allows you to get better, but to each their own, right? But this one has a 3-blade cutting system. Most benchtop planers like this style will have mainly 2. This is dual edge blade, self-indexing, we talked about that, and this has a chip dust removal system, which helps pull dust out from the tool as it is cutting it down. It has a SURE-CUT Carriage Lock that locks the cutter head to minimize sniping at the end of wood workpiece. We'll talk about that in a bit. It has a large in-feed and out-feed table. It has a steel top with glides to help work with large material and the next cut. It has a hand wheel for depth adjustment, which allows you to work freely or easily with just like one wheel that you gotta touch. The controls are soft touch. It's got a NDI cut or Indicut, which helps instantly measure the cutting depth before each pass. It's got repeat a cut depth stops at 8 adjustable depth stops, with precisely plane multiple workpieces to a consistent desired thickness for repetitive tasks. Okay, if you want to know more specifics, the no load speed is 9,000 RPMs, and if you're talking about CPMs, that's 27,000 CPMs. Cuts per inch is 96 CPI. The feed rate is 23.5. The capacity is 13 inches wide and like 6 1/8 inch high. The maximum depth of cut is 1/8 of an inch, and this tool weighs a whopping 73 pounds. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, this is not meant to be a full in-depth review of this planer. Like I said, there's probably going to be a bunch of other more dedicated woodworking YouTubers or whatnot you can find reviews on this stuff. I just going to cover the basics as we did with the specs. Okay, so this is obviously the planer. This is the front part. The way you know this is the front part is mainly because all the controls and all of this stuff is here, okay? The back part looks fairly similar to this, but doesn't have any of this stuff. Both sides have this stainless table that folds up, front side and back side. It kind of stays and locks into place. Not locks, but has a little, what do you call that? Like a positive stop that helps you lock into place. And this table is pretty sturdy, and it's stainless here, and stainless back there. Okay, real quick, the stuff coming out front, the Indicut pretty much tells you as you're cutting stock, like how much is being shaved off of the stock, and this kind of works in a positive feedback mechanism. As the cut passes over, this will move up and down depending on whatever it is that you're planing. Okay, this right here is the power on and off switch. It's not plugged in, so we can turn it on. So you can do this, right, to turn it on, do this to turn it off. If you can pull this out to lock out, right, but we don't need to do that, but we can put that back in case you need to do that. This right here is the locking mechanism. So once you figure out the depth that you want to cut, you put this down so that this entire carriage, I guess, is kind of locked into place and will not bounce around. Typically, it really doesn't, but some people will argue as you're planing material, it can move around a little bit, which may or may not, snipe in some pieces of wood. I will go ahead and tell you, from my experience, I would say sniping on this tool is minimal, but it is there. If you are really careful with it, you can minimize the sniping as much as possible, but you really have to be careful feeding the wood through here, especially if the wood is, large stock material, okay? Obviously right here, this is the ruler that kind of tells you pretty much how much you're actually cutting or how much you're actually planing off. In order to, adjust it, you pull this out to make sure that's unlocked. Then you can use this handle here, and if you turn it counterclockwise, it will go up. If you turn it clockwise, it will go down. And at the top here, it will say every quarter of a turn is 1/64th of an inch. So, just keep that in mind, but, get it to where you want and then lock it down in place. And that's what's going up on here. You can see here, there's 2 holes here. What I would strongly recommend, whatever system you have this mounted on, just use something to secure it down to minimize, movement. Any minimization of that movement will help. I've really just used, 2 large washer head screws to lock this down to whatever I was using it on. But you could do whatever you want, right? You could buy a table or whatnot, you could do that. All right, so real quick on this side, which is the right-hand part of the tool, if this is the front, there's a little thing here where you can repeat a cut. You can adjust it to all different, depths if you want. All right, so here is the back side of the tool. This is the dust chute or dust collection port. It is removable. There's little Allen key screw that you can take off, and you can pull this thing off and put it back on. I will say for the dust collection system, it works really well if you have a good dust collector connected to it. I would say the dust coming out of here is fairly minimal, and even if any dust accumulates a little bit when the stock completely exits, it will suck up the little bit that exists there. I wasn't using a dedicated dust collector. I was really just using a Ridgid shop vac for this, and that seemed to work really well, okay? But like I said, you can take this off and remove it if you did need to. The exit part, this right here is the exit out feed table, so to call it. This right here is still the cutter head. Like I said, this is pretty much exactly the same thing that's on the front. Same material, same stuff, works pretty much the same. The feed is pretty straight because it comes out this way. As you can see here, this is obviously where the cord is. All right, so this right here is the left-hand part of the tool if you're looking at it from the front, and the only thing on here is this Allen key. You can kind of use to replace cotter heads and stuff like that if you need to. I obviously hadn't had to do that, but it stores right here. Other than that, really nothing else going on here. All right, so now let me really tell you about this tool. So, like I said, we bought this tool not too long ago. It has been maybe, I want to say 2 weeks or so, and we didn't actually even start using it until just recently. And we bought this tool out of due, I think it was like $329 or something like that, for this tool shipped to your location with a set of replacement blade, which is like 3 blades, okay? So if you consider, the dual edges on the blade that's in here you can reverse and kind of use again, or if you really wanted to, you could sharpen them, or you could just, do all that stuff, right? So this tool and a set of replacement blades shipped to you for $329. I would say that was a good deal. So we went ahead and bought this planer. Yes, we did buy this planer. We did buy it with our own money. It's not sent to us. Nobody's sponsoring this video, okay? So now let me tell you our opinion of this tool. If you really wanted to answer the question of should you buy it or not, the short answer is don't buy it. There you go. You don't have to watch anymore. That's all you really need to know. But the reason I'm saying don't buy it is because we started using this tool, and in less than 1 hour of utilization with this tool, planing red oak, the red oak that you see right here on this table, it ranges anywhere between 10 to 12 inches wide. in less than 1 hour, it already broke, okay? And what actually broke is the feeder, the feeding, in-feed and out-feed rollers, because I'll see if I can throw up some clips, but you know, it just won't take the material in. The rollers just will not work. It also, when you turn it on, got like this click, 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 click sound. I'm sure some plastic piece or rubber piece or, you know, whatever is broken off inside of there. So, you know, just quick Googling around and looking at a lot of reviews, it pretty much says it's a common item. You know, a lot of people are complaining about exactly the same thing. Very minimal usage of the tool and it broke is a pretty big problem, okay? So usually, I will go ahead and say, I'm just, you know, anecdotally speaking here, a benchtop planer in a decent category, something like this style, will go anywhere between I want to say to $800 on average, right? If you get like a Makita one, it'll be like $1,000 or something like that. You can also get the same style, but with spiral carbide embedded teeth cutter heads, which don't use like a blade design, for a little bit more than what the blade system may go for. There are also spiral cutter heads you can buy and replace into blade system type cutter heads to use that, but I didn't, you know, go that far into it, mainly because we're not a dedicated woodworker and shop or anything like that. We're just working on a few projects and we just needed a thickness planer, a benchtop style, not like the hand plane one. So I will go ahead and say, don't buy this tool, and that's my opinion of it, mainly because if you haven't used the tool a lot, less than 1 hour of usage is not a lot for a corded tool, and it breaks. And if you look around, a lot of people are saying pretty much exactly the same thing. That tool is just not designed very well, or not designed very well to last, okay? There are gonna be some people that say, well, it's got a LSA, you can just get it replaced. Okay, yeah, sure, that may be true, and it's only really true if you register the tool within the first 90 days, and you know, if you're working on stuff, who's got time to wait around for warranty claim and get all this stuff fixed? You may have to take it out to a service center, get it fixed properly. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? So, you know, if you're gonna buy a benchtop planer, I would say definitely, you know, do your research and all that kind of stuff. We kind of took a gamble on this one because it was a really good deal. I think it was down from like $449 or something like that, with an extra set of blades. So it was just a really good deal. So we took a gamble on it, saying, you know, hopefully we don't get a dud, but it seems like in this case, this tool is pretty much true what they say about the tool and all the reviews and all the forums and stuff like that. It is just, you know, the feed things just break, right? And with very minimal usage. Now I would say with less than two dust collection bags on, was it like a 9-gallon shop vac, and it's broken. And we're cutting, planing down red oak, right? So we're not even talking about like super, super hard wood. It's just broken. So, you know, what can we say? That's all I can say. So if you want to know, should you buy this tool or would I buy this tool again? Definitely not. I think because it's so early into the time period of the tool, we're probably just going to end up returning this and just, you know, maybe go buy something that will last a lot longer. Like I said, I just hate dealing with warranty stuff. So that's our opinion. If you have a different experience with this tool, let us know. If you have a fix, like an easy fix that will last, you know, pretty much forever, let us know, because we'd be interested in that. Otherwise, hope this video helped you guys out. Have a great day. We'll see you guys next time.